Hi there, and welcome to part 2 of 3 of Introduction to Soap Making. In this video, I will be going over what is lye, how to be safe when working with lye, and how to mix it. Lye, which is also known as sodium hydroxide, is a chemical made from salt. It is a caustic soda, so meaning that once it's mixed with a water or a liquid ingredient, it becomes very corrosive to the point that it can burn skin, it can burn through clothing. So that's why you want to be extremely careful around this ingredient. Lye is a very important ingredient in cold process soap making because of its chemical reaction with oils and butters that you put into your soap. This chemical reaction is called saponification, and this is the process of making your soap. The lye that I use comes in the form of flakes. I know that lye also comes in a pellet and microbead form as well, but I think the most readily available lye comes in flakes. You can purchase your lye from, I would first look for local wholesalers in your area. That's where I buy mine. But when I was first starting out, I did buy my lye online through Amazon. And there are a few reputable online stores that you can buy lye from. Alright, now that you have your lye, you want to make sure that you're wearing the proper safety equipment before you mix your lye with water or any type of liquid. In my previous video, I did go over the equipment needed to make cold process soap. So if you haven't seen that, go ahead and click to the part 1 of Introduction to Soap Making. Alright, so we have our safety goggles, respirator, long sleeve shirt, vinyl gloves or any sort of chemical resistant gloves, and a long pair of pants. Also, I make sure to wear closed-toed shoes like a pair of tennis shoes when making my soap. Alright, so I have my water here in my Pyrex container. This measuring cup is heat resistant, which is really important because once you mix the lye into this water, it does get quite hot. I do try and use a distilled or filtered water just because I know that there aren't any other minerals mixed into my water. Alright, so now I'm pouring my lye into the water. Now this is super important. You never want to mix the water into your lye container. You always want the lye to be going into the water, never the other way around. Because it's a caustic ingredient, it can create this chemical reaction, have it splatter everywhere. So you want to make sure it's the lye going into your water container, and that's what I'm doing here. And I'm using my stainless steel spoon, and I went over that in my previous video. Now I'm going ahead and stirring my lye ingredient with the water. You want to make sure that all the particles are dissolved before you mix this in with your oils and butters. While I'm stirring, I want to point out that I am not standing directly over my measuring cup. Reason being that once you mix lye with your water, it does release a vapor, and that vapor can burn your skin. Other point I want to mention is that you want to work in a very well ventilated area, so no like small rooms or anything. You want to make sure that you're kind of in an open space, windows open, a fan going if need be. Alright, so while I'm getting this lye dissolved into my water, I also want to mention too is that when you do receive your lye, don't place it in another container like a glass jar or anything. Leave it in the container that it came in. Usually those containers are specifically resistant to corrosive chemicals, and also make sure that your lye won't dissolve in it either. So keep it in there. It's something that I would suggest. This digital thermometer and showing it's reading about 130, 131 degrees Fahrenheit. While I am working with lye, I do make sure that I keep a bottle of white vinegar with me at all times. It does have the ability to neutralize lye, so I do wipe my workstation with it when I am done. I also use it to rinse out my utensils, such as the measuring cups that you see here in this video, as well as the stainless steel spoon. And after I'm done rinsing with vinegar, then I rinse out really well with tap water, and then I make sure I hose down my sink afterwards as well. Alright, so now that we know how to properly and safely mix lye, in part 3 I will show you how to make cold process soap. And the soap recipe I will be using is going to just have 2 oil ingredients in it, and I just wanted to make it super simple for all those beginners out there. Okay, so thank you for joining me in this video, and then when you're ready and you have all your ingredients gathered together, you can join me on part 3 of Introduction to Soap Making.